little coordinator reliant. Now, we've said this about Nick Sirianni. And I don't like this at all. When a head coach is coordinator dependent, get a new head coach. You don't have to get rid of your quarterback. I think Jalen Hurts is another guy. Jalen Hurts is very reliant on who's the coordinator. He's not an all-time talent. Either is Baker.
Takes like this continue to drive me up the wall. You know, I put out another video the other day discussing the double standards surrounding Jalen Hurts. And someone in the comments section, Sean, shout out to you, said, "Why do you always do this for Jalen and nobody else? Blah blah blah." And it's like, first, I actually made a video on a whole clip about Baker Mayfield and defended him, so it's clearly not just about Jalen Hurts. And second, it's because with Jalen Hurts, it's endless. It's infinite. Even with Nick Sirianni, I'm not a huge Nick Sirianni supporter. I've never been, and I've said that for a while now. But I can still defend him because I too prefer a coordinator or a head coach who calls the plays, etc. But when Sean Payton gave up play calling, Colin said, "I think all head coaches would prefer not to call plays. They'd rather do that." So Nick Sirianni isn't allowed to do it, but Sean Payton is? Jim Harbaugh is allowed to do it? But Nick Sirianni isn't? Harbaugh had to go out and hire an elite offensive coordinator. That makes Harbaugh coordinator dependent. He also lost his defensive coordinator now as well. So that's what blows me away. Then we talk about other quarterbacks not being coordinator dependent, but Jalen Hurts is. And it's like, what? Was Josh Allen better with Brian Daboll and Joe Brady than with his other coordinator? Or did they have to fire his coordinator midseason? Yeah, we know that answer. Patrick Mahomes, we know he's not coordinator dependent. He's had Andy Reid his entire career. And if you want to take it a step further, because I believe Andy is the entire offense from a coaching perspective, I don't care about the coordinators they have. But there are other people who believe that now that the Chiefs got Bieniemy back, the offense will return to being great. So then you're saying Patrick Mahomes was coordinator dependent? Have you ever seen Brock Purdy without Kyle Shanahan? Who was a better quarterback? When was Matthew Stafford a better quarterback? With Sean McVay as his coordinator or with whatever collection of coaches he had in Detroit? Was he better or worse? Did he only make the playoffs a few times and not win a single playoff game? Then as soon as he got to Sean McVay, he immediately won a Super Bowl. Is that because he had a great coach? Is it because Odell Beckham Jr. was there and prime Triple Crown winner Cooper Kupp was there? Okay. Got it. That makes sense, right? And then Trevor Lawrence, is he better or worse with Liam Cohen? Better? Okay. Got it. Got it. What quarterbacks are we saying aren't inherently coordinator dependent? If we want to say that only a few quarterbacks in the history of the game are truly not coordinator dependent, if we want to elevate the Tom Bradys, the Patrick Mahomeses, that's fair. I'm fine with that. That's okay. But then why do we always bring that into conversations about Jalen Hurts? Why are we using Jalen Hurts as the example then? Why don't we just say, as a whole, listen, there are only about 4 quarterbacks in NFL history who weren't coordinator dependent? I'd be okay with that. I'd be completely fine with that take. If we just said, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning, and Joe Montana, they're the only quarterbacks who weren't coordinator dependent, then okay, great. We've got that. We all agree. Which, again, I'm not saying we do, but I'm saying take it to that extreme, I can accept that. Even if I disagree, I can accept it. But instead, we say, no, Jalen Hurts is coordinator dependent. We use it as a way to say, see? And it's like, wait a second. What? What? Even if you want to say some of these other quarterbacks have had higher levels of success with different coordinators or something, how was Lamar Jackson in those playoff games? I mean, how was it? Was there elevation? Did Jimmy Garoppolo elevate in the Super Bowl? Did Brock Purdy elevate in the Super Bowl? Trevor Lawrence had Liam Cohen. Did he elevate in that playoff game against the Buffalo Bills? No. Did Jalen Hurts elevate in the NFC Championship game? Multiple Super Bowls? Yeah, he did. He elevated. He elevated. So it's these types of conversations where I'm like, when we make those kinds of statements, it implies that Jalen Hurts is uniquely coordinator dependent or team dependent. Like there's a weakness inherent to Jalen Hurts that needs to be emphasized in a way that isn't the case with some of these other quarterbacks. Why did the Chargers just go out and hire Mike McDaniel? Is Justin Herbert coordinator dependent? Also, they already have Harbaugh. Shouldn't that be enough? I'm just curious. How has Drake May looked with Josh McDaniels over whoever his coordinator and coach were the year before? Is there a difference? What about Caleb Williams? Is there a difference with him with Ben Johnson? How about Jared Goff, with or without Ben Johnson, with or without Sean McVay? Do we see ups and downs in their quality of play depending on who their coach is? So Caleb Williams, I guess, is coordinator dependent. Trevor Lawrence is coordinator dependent. You understand what I'm saying here? Where do we draw the line? What are we supposed to do with this? Was Justin Herbert a better quarterback with Shane Steichen as his coordinator? Yes. Yes, he was. I mean, Jalen Hurts got his team to the playoffs twice with two absolutely awful coordinators. Absolutely awful coordinators. And yet he was still able to be confident enough to get that team to the playoffs. And actually was still a top quarterback in the NFL last year with an awful run game. Awful success rate in the run game, making the passing game even harder. Having a bad offensive line. Having a receiver in A.J. Brown who did not have a great year, whether because of play calling or whatnot, was not making contested catches, was not getting open, was not getting separation at the line. And that run game was a liability for them more than anything. They were just a notch above the Las Vegas Raiders. You're going to blame that on Jalen Hurts? Because it's not. It's offensive line and coaching and coordinating. If Saquon Barkley is at the mercy of a coordinator and the offensive line, certainly Jalen Hurts will have to be. I mean, we all know no one denies Saquon Barkley's greatness. So why did Saquon Barkley have a down year in 2025? Why was he met so much in the backfield? Interesting. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And so again, when people say, why do you do this with Jalen Hurts? This is what's so funny to me. I was thinking about this. Last summer, last offseason, the Eagles won the Super Bowl, obviously. And so there were so many endless takes about the Philadelphia Eagles. It was Eagles, 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 Eagles. People said, all you do is make Eagles videos. And it's like, they won the Super Bowl. And then all throughout the course of the season, they said, oh, you just talk about the Eagles. Then the Eagles lose the playoff game. And they say, oh, the Eagles lost. Move on. And it's like, I'm not supposed to talk about the loss? What do you want from me? Okay, the Eagles lost. I guess I can't talk about them anymore. And now the way this offseason has unfolded, I'm making way more videos about the loss. I've been making a ton of videos about the Las Vegas Raiders, the Tennessee Titans, I'm doing a little bit of everything. And the Eagles videos? There definitely haven't been as many because there's only so much to talk about. But then I make a Jalen Hurts Eagles video, and you've got people in the comments saying, why are you making an Eagles video? It's like, are we just not supposed to talk about one of the most popular, most successful, largest fanbase teams in the NFL? We're just never allowed to talk about them? Never allowed to make a video about them? Is that the rules? Those are the rules? If someone says something bad about Jalen Hurts, you're not allowed to defend him. When the Eagles win, you're not allowed to praise them. When they lose, I don't understand. What are the rules we have to follow when talking about the Philadelphia Eagles? You've got to let me know. You've got to let me know. What are the rules? Because I'm pretty sure if I made videos talking about how bad the Philadelphia Eagles are, how bad Jalen Hurts is, and how lucky they were to win in 2024, nobody would have a problem with that. No, they wouldn't have any problem with that. But because I make other Eagles content, anytime I make an Eagles video, it's like, oh my gosh, you're making an Eagles video? Why do you do this for the Eagles? And it's like, have you not seen me trying to pump out all these Tennessee Titans videos? How many people are talking about Cam Ward and Robert Saleh right now? I'm turning 10-minute quotes into 20-minute videos. And then I make a Jalen Hurts video and people say, I can't believe you're making a Jalen Hurts Eagles video. It's like, what do you want from me? It's like, what? I mean, this offseason, I probably made more Broncos videos, more Raiders videos. I mean, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. But it's funny because people won't say that. If I make a Broncos video or Raiders video or Chargers video, really any other team, they won't say, "Why are you making a video about this?" But with the Eagles, it's, "Why are you talking about the Eagles? Why are you talking about the story that ESPN's talking about, that Colin's talking about, that Nick Wright's talking about?" And they're like, "Why are you covering what they talked about on Get Up, First Take, First Things First, The Herd, all over the internet? Why are you talking about it?" I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe because the world is talking about it? Why are you talking about the team that won the Super Bowl? Why are you talking about the team that made the playoffs and won the division? Why are you talking about the quarterback who won the MVP, who has multiple record-breaking Super Bowl performances? Why are you talking about that? Why are you talking about it? I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. You're right. You're right. I'm going to talk about the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're right. You've helped me see clearly now. You're right. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts being coordinator dependent in a way that, I guess, other quarterbacks aren't? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some debates. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.